Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And the other day I picked up some Mayhew brass punches right here. Nice looking punches. They're heavy duty, large punches. I wanted them to supplement my smaller brass punches and those Swan Lake punches, little brass punches that I showed in the video recently. But anyway, these were about 42 bucks. They were about $10.50 a punch. This is the smallest one here, actually here. So that's the tiny one. So you can see they are fairly large, 3/8 inch, I believe. But I was looking at the packaging, you know, made in America, says so nice and loud up there, as well as right there. And the entire front of the Mayhew packaging is a kind of a USA flag motif. And it got me thinking, you know, in combination like with this channel lock, with this kind of this hip distressed flag, you see stickers like this, it's, you know, can be taken all kinds of different ways. It's a large component. Basically it's, you know, like half of the entire face of this, you know, put these two together about that high. So right in the center, the two middle fourths are just a giant American flag. There's no information there. And on the back, again, you made in USA branding. So I'm wondering, can you over-brand the US manufacturing? Or is there a double standard? In other words, the double standard might be something like, you know, Craftsman has no trouble here leaving off any indication as to where it's made, unless it's made in the USA. And then they're proud of telling you that. Proto makes a lot of stuff in the US, and you can see little tiny manufactured in the USA. Kind of the same here. This is made in Japan. Perhaps that's okay with this great neck. Not a bad thing. Benchmade has their USA in teeny weeny itty bitty print right there. Made in the USA. Snap-on, a lot of times it might be printed on it, or now I'm glad to see it stamped in there, so you never know, or so you never don't know that it's made in the USA. When I did the kind of the rebuild, beautiful, nice and smooth on this Armstrong. Big USA, no problem saying that. Channel lock on this anyway. No problem. Nice big USA. Are they going to tell us if they make something overseas where it's made? Here's a Mac Tools. Can't quite figure out where it's made. It's not showing up anywhere. I don't know. I mean, I have a pretty good guess. Klein. Okay, here's a Klein Tools. This one, they can tell you, is made in Germany. Klein seems to find space to tell you. This one, if you look, you can spin it around. Somehow they managed to find a little bit of empty space on the handle so they could tell you where it was made. Made in USA. What about this one? They were able to do it down here. They found some empty space. You know, not a lot of real estate to work with, I guess. Made in USA. Yet these two here, you can look all day long and you're not going to find where they're made. They don't bother telling you on these. Nowhere. So it's a decision. It's a conscious choice. Snap-on, nice and big right here. When they took that away, there was, you know, outcry. They had to find a way to bring it back. And, you know, people are looking for it. They want to know that it's USA. What about Milwaukee? This is a Milwaukee lineman plier. Doesn't say anything about where it is made because it's probably China. Yet when they do make a USA one, they're going to certainly make a big deal about it. And if they make a big deal out of it, it means there's some reason for doing that. Klein, on their pliers, they tell you made in USA. We kind of expect that. But on the stuff made overseas, no clue. This was an odd one. Leatherman. I assume this is made in America, Portland. But when you dig around on a Leatherman knife, you know, in all the usual places where you expect to see branding, it doesn't say. Now, I have to dig up some of the really old ones to see. This isn't that new. This is an original wave. I don't see where it's made anywhere on it. So I'm assuming it's America. Same, I was looking it up on this. Leatherman, it's branded. I just had a warranty replacement. They gave me a brand new blade on this because I knocked the tip off it. Nope, don't see it anywhere there. This is a set of Craftsman. This one, this is old. I've had this for a long time. They did manage to, on this Craftsman Professional, tell me it's made in China. This worse one, nope, nothing. Don't see it anywhere on there. Looked all over the place. You know, and there's plenty of real estate where they could just let me know. But it's as if they maybe don't want to. Here's a Craftsman. They seem to find, yep, made in America. No problem there. And then, of course, nice big letters here, USA. So they know when to be proud. Super Lube. Big old flag right here. Are all their products made in America? I think in this case. What about T-Rex tape? They seem to be able to find room made in the USA. Get that to shine up right there. So it makes me wonder. There's one. Two very similar wrenches. Made in USA. No clue where. So there is a conscious effort, and I'm wondering, as much as I like the USA branding, you know, it does influence my buying choices. I'm not kidding about that. But I'm wondering what the deal is. Why are some places, like Mexico is on some Klein products. Germany seems to be fine. The Czech Republic seems to be fine with Vera. I'm just curious if we're over-branding the U.S. and deliberately avoiding everywhere else, at least indicating where the products are manufactured. And maybe we need just a different kind of standard. So what I was thinking is, what about just a region? So we don't, you know, have maybe some of the stereotypes, like the difference between Japan and Taiwan and China and South Korea and Vietnam. You know, they all make, in some ways, really good stuff, and they can also make some not so good stuff. But what if there was just sort of a region, like North America, South America, Europe, you know, almost continents, just to let us know, at least some indication. And that'll also dilute some of the issues with trying to figure out if it's 90% made in a country, or is it made there but with global components, or was it designed somewhere but then manufactured somewhere else? It just seems like it makes a deal, or it's a big deal to a lot of people, simply because you want to know maybe what direction your buying choices are headed, especially if there's some political unrest, or there's sometimes questionable products or work environments, or you know, support of the workers. So I would just like to see a little bit more honesty in the branding. It doesn't mean I'm not gonna avoid buying this just because it's made in Germany. It's not going to affect my buying choice, but I do think Klein's proud that it's made in Germany. It just gives me that feeling. And Milwaukee, if you're going to bother telling us this is USA, tell us where this one's made. You know, I think we need to have less of a double standard there if you're going to market it that way. You're basically insinuating that we shouldn't know, just for whatever reason, where that's made. And Klein, you know, kudos for telling me your USA-made stuff, but let me know where the other stuff's made. And maybe we need a default. If they're not telling us, we have to have an assumption. But I think a lot of new tool buyers need a little bit more than that, than just the guesswork. And if you're a company, you know, like Channel Lock, if you start making anything overseas, if you're going to leverage the USA name on your tools, you better be honest about where the other tools are made. And I don't know what they're making. I know Crescent makes it on both sides of the water, but anyway, I'm curious what you think. It's not a huge deal for most people, but in a lot of ways, I think we're grown up enough to handle the truth as to where stuff is made. But it'll be a lot better if the companies would just own up instead of just marketing this. It starts to feel disingenuous if a company is making something in the U.S. and heavily brands it and makes sure that, you know, it lasts forever and it's in our face every time we use it, but yet if they go overseas, they don't let us know. So let me know what you think. And with that, Doc out.